Title of the article I'm sharing with you today: Husband working late nights, but I don't want him home. Wife speaks one sentence, revealing the truth about marriage. Let's listen together. Recently, I saw a comment from a reader. She said her husband is in a bottleneck at work. To perform better in front of his superiors, he has been working late nights for 2 weeks. But compared to staying late at work and rushing home, she prefers him to stay in the office. She's really afraid when her husband comes home. It's better if he doesn't come home. When he does, he wears a gloomy face, treating her like she owes her a lot of money. Getting angry and throwing things is common. She knows her husband is tired from work, but no matter how tired, he shouldn't be rude to his family. Because of this, she has talked to her husband many times, but he not only hasn't changed, he even scolds her for not being considerate. After reading this, I thought for a long time. Lou Sebin once said, "When a man and a woman get married, romance ends and history begins." The honeymoon phase is always romantic, but after marriage, bumps in the road are inevitable. However, couples who stay together until old age understand one thing: a good marriage needs regular clearing. I once saw a pair of couplets before entering the house: "Please discard your worries. After returning home, bring happiness." These 2 simple sentences give us the most straightforward inspiration. Before going home, be sure to rid yourself of bad emotions. As people reach middle age, no one's life is easy. The trivialities of life, the pressures of work, make them more prone to irritability and more likely to get angry. At this time, children become the best punching bag, and spouses the direct recipients of anger. After returning home, they often say, "Why aren't you more important? Do you know how tired I am all day?" Work fatigue becomes their best excuse, but bad emotions can indeed be discarded. Among families with children, what impressed me most was when Jie Donghai had a story rejected by the publisher. His career was not going well, but Jie Donghai did not show it in front of his 3 children. The 3 children thought he had successfully received the manuscript fee and joyfully demanded gifts. To cover up the lie, Jie Donghai and his wife pooled money to buy gifts for the children. When I watched this episode, I admired Jie Donghai's rationality the most. Even if work is tough, he wouldn't bring that negativity home and vent it on his family. Only those who respect their families can do this. Those who don't know how to let go of their bad emotions certainly harm their families deeply. For children, parents who frequently lose their temper make them insecure and more likely to become estranged from their parents. For spouses, being a frequent target of anger constantly harms the relationship, eventually leading to its breakdown. Home should be the warmest harbor, not a dumpster for our emotions and sacrifices. So before going home, please leave behind your worries and bad emotions. This is the greatest respect we can show to our families. Master Shangjian once said, "Face it, accept it, deal with it, and let it go." This means that when faced with an unpleasant situation, the best approach is to promptly face it, accept the consequences, deal with it seriously, and let it go afterwards. Learning to let go, even after arguments, is a life attitude, and more importantly, a secret to marital harmony. Unfortunately, not all couples understand this principle. I have a friend who has been married for over 10 years, but recently they've been talking about divorce. He said he couldn't stand it anymore that his wife constantly brings up old grievances, from how much money his family borrowed during their engagement to him having a few extra drinks with friends on their wedding day, and even forgetting to buy the hat he wanted last year. No matter how trivial the matter, she can always dig it up whenever she wants. In fact, he repaid all the money he borrowed and even gives gifts to her family during festivals. After drinking too much at their wedding, he hasn't touched alcohol in over 10 years. The hat he forgot to buy, he bought it the next day. Those things are clearly in the past, but his wife can't let go. My friend thinks that bringing up old grievances is a woman's nature, and it's impossible to change. But in fact, that's not entirely true. Whether it's a man or a woman, during arguments in marriage, each side always feels the other is wrong, so even if the matter is in the past, they still feel wronged and hold on to grievances. And holding on to grievances often leads to a major family conflict. The best solution is to learn to clear the slate in time. Whether it's an argument or a cold war, if you're determined not to reconcile, that's another matter. If you've already decided to make up, then turn the page on that issue and thoroughly let it go. Only by learning to let go, not holding on to grievances, can we prevent past events from causing secondary harm to the marriage. Someone once said, "How you live one day is how you live your whole life." The sooner you let go, the sooner you'll be liberated. If you can't let go for a day, you might remember it for the rest of your life. Before going home, let go of your external troubles so that your bad emotions won't affect your family. Middle-aged people strive outside ultimately for their families. Bringing the frustrations of the outside world home will only lead to family discord, which is truly putting the cart before the horse. After an argument, promptly giving up grievances is to prevent these conflicts from continuing to affect marital relationships. Don't let these trivial matters become an insurmountable obstacle in marriage. Once you've decided to reconcile, just reconcile cleanly. Learn to understand, learn to let go, learn not to be aggressive. Writer 12 once wrote that the more memories you retain, the more vulnerable you are to future hurts. The more detailed your retained memories, the more likely you are to create a so-called prison for yourself. Trapped within it, the deeper you sink. Life itself is a mix of flavors, with highs and lows, joys and sorrows. If we keep everything in our hearts, one day it will crush us. If the burden is too heavy, we must strive to reduce it. Learn to clear the slate, learn to let go, so that we can easily live out the rest of our lives. Today's sharing ends here. Feel free to leave a comment about your thoughts. Don't forget to like and share it with your friends.